Hi friends, I'm Scott Giles and welcome to Power Talk, my podcast here on Facebook Live and YouTube. I cover topics related to spirituality, hypnotic coaching, and the hypnotic arts and sciences in general. If you'd like to know more about my professional work or sign up for my free e-newsletter, Power Lines, check out my website, which I'll tag at the end of this video. Well, today I want to talk about feeling overwhelmed. These days I hear that a lot from my clientele. There is so much going on in the world that they don't know how to cope. Climate change, political chaos, war and the rumor of wars, family structures being everywhere challenged, companies not treating employees well, and a long list of other issues. Now, I pride myself on being something of a polymath, meaning someone who has a level of mastery of a number of different disciplines. In my case, professional ministry, hypnotism, the specific martial arts I've studied, high cuisine, and a few other things. But there is so much information out there that no one can hope to be master of it all. It wasn't always such. In ancient Greece, the philosopher Aristotle was said to be the wisest man of his time because he knew all that there was to know. Well, while that was surely admirable, the reality is that he was able to do that because there actually wasn't a whole lot to know back then. The state of knowledge was much more limited and compact. But in our time, most people can't do more than master the sliver of knowledge directly related to their occupation or avocations, hobbies. In our digital age, all of us are bombarded by a vast amount of information about a huge range of subjects. And worse, a lot of that information is unfiltered. We have no idea of its quality. Well, the ancient philosophers after Aristotle did see this coming. They made a response which was the opposite of what Aristotle did. Instead of trying to know everything, they sought to limit what they studied, trying to winnow the wheat from the chaff. Instead of paying attention to every little thing, they sought to attend mostly to those things they believed were classic and therefore enduring. Now, from the example that they set, I learned in my own life not to chase the latest trends, the current buzzwords, or the latest shiny thing. While I stay aware of current events, I take counsel from the writer of the Old Testament book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 1, verse 9, for those of you who want to go look it up. There is nothing new under the sun. Instead of chasing after every shiny new thing, in my personal life I remember that these shiny new things probably aren't all that new. They have been tried in different ways in the past, and if they really were valuable, we would know that because they would have endured. So in my personal life, I stick with the classics. I study the classical philosophers and theologians. I study ancient documents and scriptures and music. I immerse myself in the legends and mythology of long ago. I cook using the rules and principles of one of the world's oldest cuisines. Heck, as a martial artist, I even fight with a sword. Swords have been in the world for many, many thousands of years, and I think will probably be in the world for thousands of years yet to come. Now, in 1841, one of the greatest ministers of my denomination, I'm a Unitarian, named Theodore Parker, preached a sermon which became famous. It was entitled, "A Discourse on the Transient and Permanent in Christianity," and in it he fully embraced a theology called transcendentalism, a theology also embraced by another Unitarian minister of the age, the famous Ralph Waldo Emerson. In this sermon, Parker said that we should focus on what was permanent in Christianity, which he believed were the ethical principles that lay behind what Jesus of Nazareth said and did. And we should not focus on what was transient and passing, which was most of church doctrine, rules, and teachings. Reduce things to the essentials, to what is simple, and you will have an easier time keeping up with the demands of life. Another transcendentalist named Henry David Thoreau, whose journal called Walden is very much an American literary classic, he was inspired by this, and he would actually write, "I went to the woods because I wished to live deliberately, to front only the essential facts of life, and see if I could not learn what it had to teach, and not when I came to die, discover I had not lived." The shiny new things we encounter are often not that relevant because they tend to be fads and will pass. I believe it is a wiser course to focus on things that have an enduring value and have proven themselves over time. So if you are tempted to try to keep up with it all, the latest fashion, the latest tech, the latest fad, the latest buzzwords, don't. Finally, let me close with a story about something said by the wife of the Roman Emperor Augustus. He was trying to do everything and follow every rule of Roman law, which was vast and complex, as he made judgments about some malefactors brought before him for sentencing. He knew the crowd and the passion of the moment wanted him to be harsh, a martinet, to be cruel. But he worried that that would backfire on him downstream. So his wife said, "Do what doctors do when the usual prescriptions have no effect. Try the opposite remedies. Strictness has gotten you nowhere. Now try and see how far clemency gets you." So he was merciful, and is remembered to this day as one of the greatest emperors Rome ever produced, one of the wisest people in the ancient world. If you can't keep up with it all, with the passions and fads of the moment, try the opposite. Try for those things that are simple, basic, classical, and lasting. Hey, thank you for your time and attention today. I'll be back next week with another talk on a different subject. I'd like to invite you to join me. It helps me a lot if you let others know about my work and my videos, so please like, share, and subscribe. And if I can be of help to you, don't hesitate to reach out. Have a great week.